In 2008, the Industrial Piping Division Executive Council established an Award of Excellence, honoring a member of the division for achievements specifically related to the PDF sector of our industry. This award is not an annual award, but it is given at the discretion of the council. The recipient, is someone who has a record of significant accomplishment in our industry, including overall influence on the current status of the channel. The person honored will have a history of dedicated service to the Industrial Piping Division and be an active participant in the division's activities. The honoree also projects a positive industry image and has positively affected the industry in general. To date, we have had 2 recipients, Tim Arenberg of Columbia Pipe and Supply and Gary Cartwright of Piping and Equipment Company, Incorporated. This year, we are pleased to present another most deserving member of our industry with this award. It is a great honor for us to present the Industrial Piping Division's Award of Excellence to an incredibly respected and inspired member of the PVF industry, Dr. Donald R. McNeeley. Don has been referred to as the professor with a chip on his shoulder. He learned early stage capitalism with paper routes, math, by calculating trifecta payouts at the track. Maybe we could call a Mac at the track. And the importance of having a plan B as a prospective minor league baseball player. Don is the eldest of 8 children from a traditional Chicago Irish Catholic working class family of modest financial means. He credits those early year experiences as preparations for his current perspectives on leadership. In addition to his position as President and Chief Operating Officer of Chicago Tube and Iron Corporation, Dr. McNeeley holds an adjunct professorship at Northwestern University, where he teaches the capstone course. Let me say that again, where he teaches the capstone course in the prestigious McCormick Graduate School of Engineering and advises doctoral students. Hopefully he's talking a few of them into following in his footsteps and joining the PVF industry. In 1972, after a short stint as a sheriff's deputy in Chicago, Cook County, that's the Plan B that we referred to earlier, Don joined Chicago Tube and Iron, and I'll add taking no prisoners, I might add, in an entry-level position, and soon his natural propensity for the business and innovative thinking landed him in Chicago Tube and Iron's informal management training program. By 1977, Don was Chicago Tube's operation manager, followed 2 years later to employee relations manager. By 82, he was the vice president of operations, and in 84, became executive vice president. I don't know what took so long, Don, to go from executive vice president in 84 to president and chief operating officer in 1990. That's a 6-year span. You're losing something off the fastball. As he was moving through the ranks of Chicago Tube and Iron, he went to night school and didn't stop until he achieved a Bachelor of Arts, an MBA, an MS, and a PhD. I would also like to add that 8 or 9 years ago, Don decided to go to the Harvard School of Business to make sure he wasn't neglecting his love for formal education. You can imagine what his office looks like with all these degrees on the walls. In fact, his only diploma is the one he earned from kindergarten. Chicago Tube and Iron has benefited from all this education, as have we. Guided by Don's sound capitalistic foundation and embracement of free market principles, the company recently concluded its 96th year of consecutive profitability. If a rising tide rises all boats, Don McNeeley lifts the entire PB&F industry on his back with every lecture given, every student advised, and every public speaking engagement presented. His dedication and promotion of our industry is present and commands attention. His smarts, innovation, focus on education, and always looking into the future inspires those around him every day. Mike Donano, Chicago Tube and Iron's Vice President and CFO, has worked with Don for the past 6 years. For him, Don has been a terrific member. I quote, "Don is always challenging those on his team to take themselves and our business to the next higher level of excellence." Don's work in the PBF market is a case in point. When I started here at Chicago Tube and Iron in 2004, we had a very successful pipe business, but our valve and fitting product line had foundered to a point where we were no longer a strong PB&F player overall. At that time, it would have been all too easy to simply exit the valve and fitting business, and some of us here felt that might be the best course. But it was Don's vision and conviction, I might add, that if we are to be a truly successful pipe distributorship, we must also offer the full line of products and do it profitably. As a result of Don's determination, today we are doing just that. Mike also adds, so much of the Chicago Tube and Iron company that exists today directly reflects Don's leadership, vision, and conviction. And even in these uncertain times, we work with a confidence and excitement about the future. Some of the most telling comments are made by someone who has worked with Don almost his entire PBF career. Susan Hamilton, Vice President of Administration at Chicago Tube and Iron, claims 32 years as one of Don's associates and shares that he is a person for whom knowledge rules supreme. Quote, "Don is a stalwart advocate of education, both inside and outside the workplace. He encourages all of our employees to make use of our tuition reimbursement program, and many of us have done so. He himself is never too busy to go to the whiteboard to explain an elusive concept and offers to share his own knowledge freely. He is a natural teacher and has a gift when it comes to being able to reduce the most complicated ideas into understandable bites. In terms of his impact on the PBF industry, Don provides a big picture view that is important today in these trying economic times. He is an economist by education and is better than anyone I know at connecting the dots occurring in the economy at large to give us all a roadmap to the cause and effect of events swirling around us. Again, she adds, all told, I consider it a privilege to have had the opportunity to work with Don all these years and look forward to the continued positive experience of my own career development under his tutelage. The high regard in which Don is held is hardly limited to those who work with him at Chicago Tube and Iron. Veteran industry analyst and journalist Maury Beschloss shares, Don's 38 years in our industry reflect multifaceted talents unequaled by most of the leading lights of the traditional PBF sector that has spanned the past century and a half. In addition to his acclaimed distributor leadership and his much coveted PowerPoint presentations, Don carries a PhD as a distinguished professor at Northwestern University. That itself is a unique accomplishment. The current honor bestowed on Don by his industry peers is in keeping with the high regard he justly deserves. Finally, from Alan Lipp, Executive Vice President of American Brass, a member of the Industrial Piping Division's Executive Council, Alan believes that the IPD Award of Excellence might as well have been created in Don's image. Everything about the man and the professional and personal standards he sets for himself embodies excellence. Tell him we're busy. From running the venerable 96-year-old company, yet fiercely progressive organization that Chicago Tube and Iron is, to running the Boston Marathon and everything he immerses himself in between, is all about the pursuit of excellence. Don truly leads by example, inspiring his Chicago Tube and Iron associates, Northwestern University students, and a legion of industry colleagues captivated by his uniquely relevant economic insights to be the very best they can be. Despite his long and growing list of extraordinary achievements, he is extremely approachable and has an endearing everyman appeal about him that is entirely genuine. He is exceedingly generous with his time and has made many presentations and served on numerous industry association boards and committees. The American Supply Association Industrial Piping Division and the PVF industry in our country will continue to thrive in no small part to the magnanimous contributions and unwavering commitment of Dr. McNeeley. And I'd like to add just a few comments. I first met Don at lunch in Chicago a number of years ago. And we got into a discussion about economics. And I realized just how narrow my thinking was and how lacking my general knowledge was. And there was Don with a pen on a paper in the restaurant, putting graphs on the paper as we discussed economic theories. I felt I was back at Villanova University again, getting an update and a primer on all that I had forgotten over all those years. It was a privilege and a pleasure. I will add one final comment. I'm a great fan of movies. In the movie To Kill a Mockingbird, the narrator at the end of the movie says, Atticus always said that you never know a man until you stand in his shoes. Just standing on the Radley porch was good enough for me. And I would amend that by saying, just standing on this dais with this wonderful man is good enough for me.